This is Ron Higgins with the Shreveport Bossier Journal.com and TheRonHiggins.com live from the mobile office. Since my unusual spot in the football office has been commanded by Jacques Doucet, you don't break up Jacques with WFP when he gets in the flow. You don't want to do that. Glad to be here, glad to be in the shade, but honestly today, the 11th workout of the preseason, it was actually not overbearingly hot. A little bit of a breeze. I won't say it's pleasant, but it's a hell of a lot better than the alternative we've been facing out there. I mean, nobody was melting. It was okay. We had 40 minutes of time to watch the practice. First thing we noticed walking on out of the football operations building across the field was 3 running backs riding stationary bikes. Must be nursing injuries, that's what you can assume. Armani Goodwin, Logan Diggs, and Josh Williams. But if you remember, LSU has a ton of running backs, and it's a long way to go before the season opener. We still got a way to go. I'm sure whatever that's bothering them will get well. We'll talk about the running backs in a second when we get to Brian Kelly's comments. We met with Brian Kelly after practice for the first time. We talked to him probably more than a week, and he updated us on a lot of things. First of all, in practice, from what we saw, and a lot of 7-on-7. In the 7-on-7, when the ball was placed around the 40, Garrett Nussmeier shined. I think he was 7-7. Sorry, 6 of 6 through the 6 different receivers. He looked sharp. In red zone 7-on-7, Jaden Daniels was exceptionally sharp. I think he was 6 of 6 also. A couple of touchdowns to Malik Neighbors. Daniels has done a really good job in the red zone. Almost every day we see him throwing the ball in 7-on-7 against D-backs, defensive backs. Done a really nice job. Also, Ricky Collins came in, third-string quarterback, threw a 10-yard pass, beautiful pass on a corner out to freshman Sheldon Sampson over freshman Jordan Allen. I was all freshman affair on that one. The team was treated to ice snow cones after practice, courtesy of Kona Ice. They were waiting at the back door next to the dressing room. I'm sure everybody appreciated that. Once we got to the press conference, we got a lot of updates. First, Denver Harris. A lot of speculation whether he'd been the cornerback at A&M, who'd been struggling, frankly, a lot so far in the preseason. If he was suspended or whatever, because he wasn't here the last 2 days in practice, missed a team picture. Brian Kelly said in his post-practice press conference, Denver Harris was dealing with personal matters and expected him back with the team by the weekend. So there's an update on that. Contrary reports that he'd been suspended. Speculation reports saying he'd been suspended. Brian Kelly says he'll be back by the weekend. So personal matters is what he's dealing with. Mason Smith's been kind of slow by an ankle injury, knocking some rust off, basically, a defensive tackle. Been gone all last year with the knee injury. Kelly's not worried about it. He said you got to be careful with him, but he's not overly concerned. He says, man, when haven't played in a year, everything hurts. And so that's the update of Mason Smith. Let's see here. He said really it's important he develops a third quarterback. Only got 3 scholarship quarterbacks, so it's important he develops Ricky Collins behind Jaden Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier. And I mean, Collins is getting a little bit of run here in preseason. I'm sure it'll change a lot once you get to the season, but he's getting his opportunity to show what he can do. And frankly, he's done a pretty decent job for a true freshman. And you remember, we're only one injury away from this. Any of the first 2 quarterbacks and Ricky Collins having to play. So, knock on wood, hope that doesn't happen. Let's see here. On the return game, Kelly's been very, very impressed with Aaron Anderson, Alabama transfer. This is a punt returner. Anderson's as comfortable as a punt return as he's seen. Still working on the kickoff stuff. Anderson's filling a lot of kickoffs. You'll probably get a nice run there. Of course, the secondary, since there's 2 players out, Anderson and the Ohio State transfer out with a fractured leg, lower leg. There's concern how much it affects the secondary. Ron Kelly was pretty optimistic about it. He said because they have so many veteran safeties, Andre Sam, Brooks, Major Burns, and the fact Sage Ryan is playing a lot of cornerback and nickel. He says there's 4 veteran players that you could really kind of build your secondary around. And, and he has also, cornerbacks. I mean, Deuce Chestnut, the Syracuse transfers, played really, really well, so he's looked good there. I don't think Kelly is as worried probably as the general public is about the LSU secondary situation in light of Denver Harris missing time and not playing really well to start the preseason. And the injury, I think it was J.K. Johnson. I think Johnson's his last name, Ohio State. Could have had that wrong. Sorry if I did. But he's not overly concerned because of the veteran presence in the secondary. And honestly, they're playing some alignments where they're playing 3 safeties and they drop one down in the tackle box to help the linebackers. So a lot of stuff going on there with the secondary, but he likes what he sees. Let's see, what else we got here? So the running back room is a long way from settled, and they're going to use several anyway once they get in the season. But that's kind of, that might be the most unsettled group of all right now, with the opening game on September 3rd still looming. Probably the running back room, maybe not selling really on a rotation. Noah Kane, Penn State transfer, came here last year, scored 10 touchdowns. Kind of got better as the season went along. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he started the opening game. He's come in tremendous shape, really focused, really comfortable with the offense. It wouldn't surprise me if he was the opening game starter. I've seen it a lot with the first team. John Emery has, since he came back, reported camp late because of his academic duties. He's played well, especially his catching the ball out of the backfield. Those might be your top 2 guys, considering the other 3 guys today we saw on exercise bikes may not, be totally well. But right now, I mean, Kane and Emery, we see them a lot in 7-on-7s. It's got a scrimmage Saturday in Tiger Stadium, 60 to 70 plays. They'll find out a lot right there. It's probably the biggest remaining scrimmage they have in the preseason. So we'll find out a lot Saturday. And that's about it for me. I'm Ron Higgins with the Shreveport Bossier Journal and TheRonHiggins.com. Sitting in a parking lot under a tree, and I tell you, it's not bad here. And of course, these guys edging grass, they just seem to follow me. They just follow me. They must know I'm doing this stuff. Come on, man. Come on.